Did you know that Filecoin allegedly makes up around 9.9% of Grayscale's AI portfolio? Now, nothing I say is financial advice, but let's just take a look at how massive Grayscale is. If we take a look at the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, it has around 154,471 Bitcoin. Pretty massive. Now, if we do some math, basically, that's either going to be around, depending on when you watch this video, of course, either approximately $10.5 billion to around $10.8 billion worth of Bitcoin. But again, tomato, tomato, it may be a little bit different by the time I upload this video, but I'm saying still, the main takeaway is basically Grayscale is massive. I think that's the main takeaway, at least personally for me. So if I see something that massive, like in the case of Grayscale, and seeing their AI portfolio basically include almost 10% of it being Filecoin, that's pretty impressive in my opinion. Keep in mind, Filecoin is not even a top 50 project, by the way. It's currently ranked 66 in the world in terms of market cap. Now, people like to tell me, why would Grayscale even care about something like this? Well, in my opinion, because maybe they see something fundamentally speaking when it comes to Filecoin. Maybe they like the team. Maybe they like the fundamentals. I mean, who knows? So when I take a look at that right there, I think if anything, though, it may showcase that they care about it, because they're not, why would it make up that much of their AI portfolio? This is just my perspective. Now, there's also something else that I do know, though, and that is how Filecoin is over 7 times lower than where it was back in December of 2024. That's not a joke, because back in December of 2024, so slightly over a year ago, Filecoin was around $7. Now we're slightly below $1, so again, we're over 7 times lower than that, which may seem a little bit negative. Some people like to tell me, because they say that seems so counterintuitive. Why would a project being down that much make someone like me, for instance, in the case of Lee the Captain, why would that make me so happy, I suppose? Now, the major reason why is because I'm not happy because of the movement in terms of the sentiment. It's not because of that, of course, not doing the best, but I'm happy in terms of hypothetical accumulation, because when things are down like this, again, it's not a good movement at first glance, which of course it isn't, but if I frame it in a way where it's hypothetically for dollar cost averaging reasons only, it doesn't seem like such a bad thing, even though it's actually a bad thing in the grand scheme of things of the charts going down, if that kind of makes sense. Because if, let's say, I'm a property developer or a real estate developer, which I'm not, but I'm saying in a pure hypothetical, if I'm trying to acquire property, of course I'd like it better if the price was lower. That would only make sense, because if maybe the property market comes back in this pure hypothetical, then if maybe the land appreciates, then it's pretty awesome, or the property or the building or whatever. But this is just my perspective, and I just kind of view it no different here, even though this is just personally my analogy and I'm not telling anyone to do anything. However, people like to tell me that, well, Filecoin, a lot of people forgot about it. Well, let's take this into consideration. Filecoin still has around almost 154,000 holders. Pretty impressive. And keep in mind, it's at a time like right now. And it's not like when I take a look at Filecoin, it's that popular. Again, it's currently ranked 66 in the world, but I'm saying still not bad considering the current conditions as of right now. The thing is this. Around 6 months ago, actually, Filecoin reached a new all-time low, which is, of course, again, not such a good thing. But if I just take a look at this historically speaking, we're around 85 cents approximately as of right now when it comes to Filecoin. The all-time low was around 64 cents. Actually, slightly less than that, but for simplicity's sake, let's just say 64 cents. Now, if we take a look at it, back in December of 2024, so not even its all-time high, let's just take a look at around $7 in December of 2024. Is Filecoin closer as of right now to around 64 cents or $7? Of course, it's way closer to 64 cents. So this is the thing. Historically, we do know that Filecoin seems to be pretty close to its historical floor, or should I say its all-time low, which it kind of is, basically. But is it farther away from the floor or the ceiling? I would say it's really far away from the ceiling, actually, because even $7 is not the all-time high, and we're still over 7 times lower than that. So from that alone, I could hypothetically deduce maybe that Filecoin is a little bit close to its historical floor, but kind of far away from its ceiling, historically speaking, at least in the past year and 6 months. This is the way I take a look at it, because let's just also take into consideration when it comes to Filecoin, actually in 2024, $7 was not the peak. The peak was actually almost $11 in 2024, which I get it may seem a little bit bizarre, and people like to tell me, well, it's had that much of a pullback. We're over 10 times lower than that. How is that a good thing? Again, it's not, but personally for me, because I'm looking to hypothetically accumulate, I don't mind seeing something hypothetically being pretty close to a floor, but then maybe being a little bit farther from its ceiling, historically at least. However, in the grand scheme of things, of course, Filecoin, the pullback has been pretty extensive, but a lot of projects are as well. So it's not like it's just only Filecoin, but I'm voluntarily choosing to believe in this anyways. I don't have to, but I'm voluntarily choosing to do so because I'm still a fan when it comes to Filecoin. Now, keep in mind, Filecoin, people like to tell me, well, the focus isn't good enough. Well, let's take a look at one of the major focuses when it comes to Filecoin, at least historically speaking. Of course, it's data storage, which a lot of people like to tell me, who cares about that? Well, according to Fortune Business Insights, actually, by 2030, the global data storage market size is expected to be worth nearly $800 billion. So that's pretty massive. Now, is Filecoin the most popular project out there that's focused on data storage as of right now? Arguably, I would say maybe, because if I take a look at Jasmy, I just think Filecoin's more popular than that. I'm still a fan of Jasmy though, but furthermore, if I take a look at it as well, Filecoin, I think it's more popular than Arweave, than Siacoin, than Storage, but it's spelled like STORJ. So some people call it Storj, some people call it Storage, but you know what? It's tomato tomato. Besides that point though, I think Filecoin amongst that group is the most popular. Furthermore, it's not probably the most cool or most interesting niche of all time, but I still think it's pretty awesome. And also, Filecoin, it does have an aspect of AI as well. And we all already know that that is something that people clearly care about, and even Grayscale apparently cares about it because, again, Filecoin makes up almost 10% of their AI portfolio, allegedly. So when I take a look at that right there, overall, I'm still waiting, I'm still holding, I'm still dollar cost averaging once a month. I don't have to though, but I'm personally doing it anyways, just because I am a fan of Filecoin. Now, granted though, is Filecoin the best project out there of all time? I don't think so, but I don't think it's the worst either, but I don't mind though, because personally for me, I just tend to look for these middle ground type of projects where it's not too massive, but not too small either. Like, do I ever think Filecoin's ever going to become like top 5 within this space? No, but I don't need it to either. I mean, if Filecoin could just hypothetically go back to $7, which we literally saw back in December 2024, if it could just do that, I'm already going to Sizzler. It already feels like an altcoin season to me. Do I need an altcoin season actually to be happy? No, because if Filecoin could just go back to $7, I'm going to Sizzler. That's my perspective. I don't need it to hypothetically go back to its all-time high. No, I don't need to. Because it's this low. It's to the point that if it returns back to $7, I'm going to Sizzler. That's my perspective. So, of course, people like to tell me that, oh, if Filecoin goes back to around $7, it's so bearish. Well, I disagree with that. At least personally for my case, I can't speak on anyone's behalf, but I just disagree with that for me because if I'm dollar cost averaging right now and it goes back to $7, again, it's already a quote unquote going to Sizzler moment for me. I don't need an altcoin season anymore at that point. Would I be happy if there was one? Yes, of course. I mean, why would I not be happy? But at the same time, though, I don't really need one to be happy, if that makes sense. But I'm just saying, as of right now, still holding, still waiting, and I'll see what happens. But I knew that by me entering into this space, I was probably going to have to wait for quite a while. Do I know how long I'm going to have to wait? No. There's no way I can control this market. No matter what triangles I draw on the charts, no matter what I do in terms of the analysis, the market's not going to care about what I have to think or what I have to do, quite frankly. So what am I going to do? Just pull up a chart and just draw some random things all the time? It's going to do nothing personally for me, and the market is not going to care. At least this is my perspective. The market does not care about what I have to do. It does its thing with or without me, whether it's just kind of moving sideways, whether it's down, whether it's up, whatever the case may be, it's going to do its thing with or without me. So I can either choose to stay patient or I don't. In which case I could do either, right? Because I don't have to believe in this. It's purely voluntary, but I am voluntarily choosing to be a fan of the projects that I'm a fan of, and Filecoin is one of them. Is it the only one? No, but it is one of them. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I'm still holding, but if there's more updates when it comes to Filecoin, if something comes out when it comes to Filecoin in terms of the news, I'll be sure to make a video on it. So hopefully y'all stay tuned for that. I just want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a very nice day. It's only the captain. I'm out. Peace. Bye.